So everybody's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, you 24-hour day, back from the break. Remember, you guys can always follow, subscribe to KBR Sports on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, please don't forget, you can also follow the KBR Sports Twitter page, or you should follow the KBR Sports Twitter page, at KBR_Sports, the live links and show topics prior to every show. So you guys know how to get to the show so that you guys know where to access everything. So you guys might not need an extra assist to get to the show. And then you guys can also call in at 571-991-0566, where you guys can join in our discussions, everything we're talking about regarding KBR Sports. Once again, remember, it's 571-991-0566. All right, so we're about to just jump into the speed round just to get things kicked off, but we're going to kick it all off with the Phil Jackson news and Larry Brown's comments about Phil Jackson. Larry Brown essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, but Larry Brown essentially said that Phil Jackson, if he wants to institute the triangle offense, he should get down there and start coaching himself. He said it in a much nicer tone than was required. But he pretty much said if Phil Jackson wants to institute, it's not fair to Jeff Hornacek, the Knicks' current head coach, for them to be forcing him to run a triangle when it's not a system he believes in. Go ahead.
I can't figure out how you can hire a coach and tell him how you want him to play. I can't figure out how you can draft people for a coach that you know coaches a certain style and has been successful doing that style, and get him to play a style you feel comfortable with. Then you coach. Then you coach. You're talking about one of the greatest coaches of all time of our sport. Let him coach. If he wants to do the triangle, put it in. Let him coach, and then teach everybody around and get players comfortable playing it.
Thank you so much, Nigel. But yeah, so off those comments, I mean, I think it's just ridiculous at this point, bro. Like Phil Jackson, it's just bad. The Knicks are just bad. Now you're trying to get rid of Derrick Rose. You're possibly going to waive him. You try to trade him at the trade deadline.
They should get rid of Derrick Rose.
But I mean, his contract expires at the end of the season anyway.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why you got him.
No, but why are you trying to waive him? I don't understand. I mean, why do you want to waive him if his contract is going to expire anyway? So it's like, and then you wanted to take on a non-expiring contract in Ricky Rubio's contract because he fits the triangle. But if you don't have a coach that believes in the triangle, why are you forcing him to run the triangle? I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Well, it says Derrick Rose, next point guard, isn't going anywhere. So, hey, if you can get Ricky Rubio for $12 million, that's a steal. $12 million for a point guard, starting point guard nowadays. What? Delly got $9 million. He's a backup point guard. So if you can, and for anyone to get one of the best playmakers in the league, a guy who's been a complete positive on the court, even though he's a negative scorer. Yeah, you absolutely try and do that. If you can swing Derrick Rose for that would honestly be a win for Phil Jackson in my books.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, I don't. So you think Ricky Rubio's a better player out of the two right now?
Better player? Probably not. Who I take on my team? I'll take Ricky Rubio.
That's the thing. If you have Jeff Hornacek as your coach, think about out of terms of not running the triangle, and you're just in whatever.
Yeah, I would absolutely probably want Ricky Rubio.
Still over Derrick Rose, even for Jeff Hornacek's system.
You don't need Derrick Rose at this point is going to be a third scorer on that team. He doesn't play like a third scorer on that team. You want guys who... No, he's
just right around 46%. He takes less shots than Melo and Porzingis. So, I mean, he's fitting into the role that you're saying, third scorer. So, I mean, Derrick Rose hasn't played bad. He just can't shoot. That's it. He just can't shoot. But he shoots 45%.
Yeah, but the problem is you're not going to pay him $30 million.
Well, that's the thing. It all depends on how you negotiate his contract. Because but Derrick Rose hasn't played like a mass player. That's the thing. I don't know. Maybe Minnesota would have been I guess I get what you're saying, because Minnesota would have been the team that might have given him a mask because Tom Thibodeau's there.
No, Thibodeau wanted to get rid of him so he could play Chris Dunn.
Sorry, what'd you say?
He wanted to play Chris Dunn.
Best thing, Derrick Rose. I don't know where he thinks he's going to get max money from. Like
Knicks.
The best thing you could have done is re-up with the Knicks. You know, they're probably going to give you the best contract you possibly could get.
I don't think he's going to max, but I do think he's going to get $20 million.
Derrick Rose. I mean, for this age, I mean, Timothy Mozgov got 4 years, 64. Luol Deng got 4 years, 70 something.
To be fair, those are terrible deals.
Those are terrible deals.
I mean, to be fair, he did give out 40 to 72 to Joakim.
Who?
Phil.
No, yeah, he did. That's what I'm saying. Phil can give it to Joakim. He might give it to.
Maybe.
Might get Derrick Rose.
So, I mean, if he can dump that contract and get a positive player in Ricky Rubio, who's a better defender, and he fits in more in the so that you have a number one option. You have a clear cut number one option, and you have a guy you want to be your number two option, and you need to take the main thing. Early in the season when Porzingis was playing well, you had Derrick Rose and Carmelo taking shots away from him. Carmelo's going to get his shots no matter what. If you can get a guy who's just going to get him the ball in his perfect spots, which Rubio's done. I mean, you want to talk about he was a plus player even on a negative Wolves team 2 years ago when they just had Wiggins. When he came back, team offense took off with him on the court. Same thing last year. Same thing this year. Anytime he's on the court with any star player, they all get better. Even though everything says that as a scorer he should be a negative player on the team, every single team he goes on, his offense does better.
I understand what you're saying. Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
All right. Adrian Peterson's free agency options. Where do you think he'll land? We'll probably expound on this another day more, but where do you just on a quick premise thing? Where do you think he'll land?
I think he'll go to Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. I think he'll be a good fit for the Raiders now that Latavius Murray is a free agent. I think, especially since they like to have a two-headed running attack, and if Adrian Peterson doesn't have to take the whole bulk of the carries, I think Oakland would be a really good fit for him.
I think Tampa Bay will pay more.
Tampa Bay probably would be willing to pay more, but I think Oakland. I mean, especially since
if we're talking about fit wise, I mean Oakland because they're better.
Mm-hmm. And I think he wants to win a Super Bowl. So I think Oakland gives him the best chance. I mean, the reigning NFC champions are in Tampa Bay's division. Even though I think the Falcons are going to have a smooth Super Bowl hangover, I think he'll want to go to Oakland. How much does Jimmy Garoppolo not being on the trade market affect the other NFL teams?
I think it's a huge effect on other teams. I mean, he was the number one quarterback that was going to be wanted in the offseason. Who else is going to go out? Who are you going to go after?
Jay Cutler.
I was just looking at the list. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second.
Well, I agree with you. I think it affects it big time because essentially every one of those teams was ready to. I don't know who was calling the Patriots, but 2 games did get Jimmy Garoppolo a lot of clout. And okay, go ahead with your list.
They had Josh McCown, Brian Hoyer, Case Keenum, Geno Smith, Mike Glennon, Mark Sanchez, and Landry Jones. Oh, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Those are the quarterbacks that are out there.
Well, I think people are going to hold Jimmy Garoppolo in higher esteem than every one of those quarterbacks just because he looked in the first 2 games that he played. And I think
he should be higher.
He should. But, I mean, if you're a team like the Browns.
And maybe Jay Cutler.
If you're a team like San Fran, you're a team, the Jets. I don't think he would trade him in the division. But you're a team, you're one of those bottom tier teams. Those people are going to explore their options.
We could.
You said the Browns are good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not trade for him. Who are we talking about?
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, no, I'm not trade for him.
Okay. Does Draymond Green have a point with his Paul Pierce beef?
I want to talk about this later. I genuinely want to talk about this.
Okay, just give me a yes or no.
But yes, I do.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
He has a point, but it's disrespectful how he's expressing his point.
I disagree with that.
It's disrespectful. I think so. All right, we'll talk about it another day. Has David Griffin been the best GM in the league this year? Cavaliers general manager.
This is my question. This is why I wanted to ask you. Do you think the moves he's made this year, because it does start in the offseason, put him over Jacob Levy, I think I said his name wrong, for getting Kevin Durant? Because I always say this. It's much easier in the...
Joe Lacob. Got the general manager for the Warriors, Joe Lacob.
Joe Lacob. I said Jacob Lacob. Okay.
I think those 2 acquisitions were big. Getting Kevin Durant is
it's not just 2 acquisitions. He's gotten Corver, he got Bogut, Williams, Derek Williams. Derek Williams has been a surprise.
Yeah.
The other 3 have been.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then you could have arguably given it to him 2 years. Last year when they went and got J.R. Smith. Amon Shumpert, Timothy Mozgov, whoever else in the ladder and whatever. You could have given it to him that year because it helped the Cavs tremendously.
Yeah.
So,
but I would say this has been a better job getting talent around LeBron.
Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on how you see it, because a lot of times we're gonna do on recency effect, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna judge it on this is the most recent big thing that happened, and since it's gonna have the biggest effect, people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, it was such an amazing move. But Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. You know, I mean, you win in all things. You get Kevin Durant,
right?
So, and then JaVale McGee's played well, better than people thought. So, and even though people say they don't really have depth. I mean, they don't have as much depth as they did before. Patrick McCaw's played well.
See, the thing is, when it comes to playoff time, rookies don't play one playoff time.
You're right, but I mean, this is a regular season award. It's a regular season award. So, I mean, regular season award, I think regular season award, you could, I mean, I think Warriors guy, I mean, because there's going to be, even going to be other general managers people are going to probably toss in the hat. Like, they're probably going to toss in the Raptors general manager. They're probably going to toss in.
They got Serge, and got Serge and PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker. I mean, some people might see that if those guys end up playing big time in the postseason. They've even had an impact during the regular season.
Yeah.
Some people might say the Washington Wizards general manager is a big.
You live in DC, you should know.
Ernie Grunfeld. Sorry, it was literally on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, Ernie Grunfeld might be the one that they elect to get it after they've gotten them a lot of guys. They just signed Brandon Jennings off of waivers. They got them some other supplemental pieces for the bench. Bojan Bogdanovic.
There you go.
Tongue twister, bro. Tongue twister. And then I can't forget who on the West also got another piece. I'm tripping. Sam Presti and the crew. They got Taj Gibson and Doug McDermott. Yeah. I mean, those guys shooters. Russell Westbrook Doug McDermott's a shooter, but Russell Westbrook needs more shooting, and Taj Gibson can space it somewhat. But it gives them some help. So I mean, I'd probably give it to Joe Lacob, but it's an interesting conversation. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap up today. That's gonna wrap it up for today's show. Remember, guys, to follow and subscribe to the KBR Sports Podcast on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, don't forget to follow KBR Sports on Twitter at KBR_sports, where we take the live links prior to every show, as well as our show topics. And don't forget that you guys can call in at 571-991-0566 to chime in and give your opinions on all things KBR Sports and whatever we may be discussing that particular day. Once again, it's 571-991-0566. What's up, Nigel? And also don't forget to comment, share, and like the KBR Sports Podcast so we can get you all's feedback on everything KBR Sports. We want to hear what you all think. Too many times you guys are just too docile and too quiet. We want to know what you guys think. We want to know what you think about the topics we discussed. We want to see what your opinions are, what you think about all the things we talk about. So don't forget to comment, share, get your friends hit the KBR Sports, and like the KBR Sports Podcast, whether it be on YouTube, Rabble, Spreaker, iTunes, SoundCloud. Help us out, people. Look out. All right, Nigel. What's the inspirational quote of the day?
Inspirational quote of the day is, it's just a simple message. It's not really going to be a quote. It's just a simple little message. Don't complain about things you're not willing to change.
Don't complain about things you're not willing to change. I like it.
Just sweet and simple.
Sweet and simple. Yeah, a lot of people can apply that to themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. All right, y'all. It's going to be it for us. Have a good night.
Have a great night, everybody. That's all. They're gonna take a time off.